The bass thrums through the soles of my feet as I stand at the edge of the rooftop bar, 30 stories above Manhattan. Everyone around me sparkles, literally sparkles, in sequins and metallic dresses that catch the light like scattered stars. I'm wearing the black dress Nicole picked out for me, because of course I am. She's always known what's best for me, hasn't she? Mia. Nicole's voice carries across the crowd, musical and commanding as always. She's waving a champagne bottle, her smile brilliant enough to rival the city lights behind her. Birthday girl, get over here. I weave through the crowd, accepting hugs and birthday wishes from faces I mostly recognize from Nicole's Instagram stories. The party is exactly what she promised. Exclusive, expensive, and engineered for maximum social media impact. Just like everything else in Nicole's orbit. You look absolutely gorgeous, she gushes, pulling me into a perfumed embrace. I knew that dress would be perfect on you. Didn't I tell you? You always know, I say, and mean it. For 10 years, Nicole has been my compass, my confidant, my sister in everything but blood. The person who took awkward, uncertain Mia and helped transform her into someone who could almost belong in places like this. Edison appears at my elbow, offering a knowing smile and a fresh glass of champagne. Happy birthday, he says quietly, his steady presence a counterweight to Nicole's sparkle. Holding up okay? Before I can answer, Nicole sweeps me away for photos. The lighting is perfect right now, she insists, positioning me against the cityscape. I smile on command, letting her adjust my pose like a photographer with their favorite prop. The night blurs into a carousel of toasts and laughter and carefully curated moments. I'm floating on champagne bubbles when I excuse myself to the bathroom, weaving through the crowd toward the interior of the venue. That's when I hear it. Can't believe she's 30. Nicole's voice, slightly slurred but still carrying that familiar musical lilt. God, remember when we met her? So desperate to belong somewhere? I freeze, one hand on the bathroom door. The voices are coming from around the corner, just out of sight. She's sweet, though. Another voice. Pearl, I think. You two are like sisters. Nicole's laugh is sharp enough to cut. Please, she'll never be more than my sidekick. I mean, look at her, still wearing the clothes I pick out, still following my lead. It's kind of sad, really. Like having a permanent intern who never graduates. The words hit like ice water, shocking me sober. My chest constricts as a decade of memories suddenly shift, kaleidoscope-like, into new and horrible patterns. That's harsh, Pearl says, but she's laughing too. It's true, though. I love her, but come on. Some people are meant to be supporting characters. At least she's good at it. I back away from the bathroom, my heels suddenly unsteady beneath me. The party lights seem too bright now, harsh and exposing. Every smile directed my way feels like pity. Every laugh sounds like mockery. My phone buzzes, a text from Edison. You okay? You look pale. I scan the crowd and find him watching me with concern. Beyond him, Nicole has returned to holding court, champagne in hand, radiant as ever. She catches my eye and waves, blowing an exaggerated kiss. My stomach lurches. 10 years of friendship telescope down to this moment, this revelation. Every time she's helped me with my career, every introduction she's made, every piece of advice she's given. Was it all just to keep me safely in her shadow? I grab my clutch and head for the elevator, ignoring the calls of, "Birthday girl, where are you going?" My hands shake as I press the lobby button. In the mirrored walls, I see myself as Nicole sees me. The faithful sidekick, the eternal supporting character, carefully styled in a dress she chose. But there's something else in my reflection, too. Something hard and bright in my eyes that wasn't there before. Because what Nicole doesn't know, what she's forgotten in her champagne-soaked superiority, is that I'm the one person who knows where all her bodies are buried. 10 years of secrets, of covering for her, of being the reliable friend who helps clean up her messes. The elevator doors open to the lobby, and I step out feeling lighter than I have all night. Tomorrow, Nicole will wake up to find her carefully constructed world beginning to crumble. And I'll be watching from the shadows she so thoughtfully taught me to inhabit. Happy birthday to me. Morning light filters through my bedroom window, harsh and unforgiving. My phone shows 17 missed calls from Nicole, 38 text messages, and one voicemail that I delete without listening. The dress she chose lies crumpled on my floor like a shed skin. I drag myself to the kitchen, where Edison is already waiting with coffee. He stayed over on my couch last night after following me home from the party, worried about my state of mind. Now he watches me with those careful eyes of his, waiting for me to break or explode. "You should eat something," he says, sliding a bagel across the counter. "I should burn that dress," I reply, but I take a bite anyway. "Did you know? About how she really saw me?" Edison's hesitation is answer enough. "Mia, how long?" He sighs, running a hand through his disheveled hair. "I've seen glimpses. The way she takes credit for your ideas at work. How she always positions herself as your mentor rather than your equal. But last night was different. Cruel." My phone buzzes again, Nicole's face lighting up the screen. I silence it without looking. "You know what's funny?" I say, staring into my coffee. Yesterday morning, I was helping her damage control her latest crisis. Again. She called me at 5 a.m. panicking about some documents that could ruin everything if they got out. And I dropped everything to help because that's what sidekicks do, right? Edison straightens. "What documents?" I walk to my home office where my laptop sits beside a thick manila envelope. "These arrived last week. Someone's been collecting receipts on Nicole's creative accounting at work, plus some interesting emails about how she's been taking credit for other people's projects, including mine." "Jesus, Mia." Edison picks up the envelope like it might explode. "This is serious. This could end her career." I know. That's why she was so desperate to get ahead of it. I laugh, but there's no humor in it. I spent 6 hours yesterday helping her craft responses, making calls, calling in favors, all while she was probably thinking about what a pathetic little helper I am. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Pearl. Probably calling to do damage control on Nicole's behalf. I let it go to voicemail. "What are you going to do?" Edison asks quietly. Before I can answer, there's a pounding at my door. "Mia, I know you're in there." Nicole's voice missing its usual musical quality. "Why aren't you answering your phone? We need to talk." Edison moves toward the door, but I grab his arm. "Don't," I whisper. "Please." The pounding continues. "This isn't funny, Mia. I need those documents back. You can't just disappear with them." Edison's eyes widen as understanding dawns. "The documents she was worried about? They were the ones you already had?" I nod slowly. She doesn't know that part. She thinks I took them after the party, after overhearing her. She has no idea I've known for days exactly what kind of friend she really is. "Mia, please." Nicole's voice cracks. "I know you're upset about last night, but I was drunk. I didn't mean any of it. You're my best friend." The words hit like a slap. Best friend. The same person who called me her permanent intern just hours ago. 10 years of friendship, and I never realized I was just another carefully managed asset in Nicole's portfolio. "If you don't open this door, I swear to God." "You'll what?" I call back, surprising myself. "Find someone else to clean up your messes? Another sidekick to keep in your shadow?" Silence falls heavy on the other side of the door. When Nicole speaks again, her voice is low, dangerous. "You don't want to do this, Mia. You have no idea what I know about you." But she's wrong. For the first time, I know exactly what I want to do. I pick up my phone and dial a number I found in the documents. It rings twice before a crisp voice answers. Annabelle May's office. "Hi," I say, watching Edison's eyes grow wide as he recognizes the name of Nicole's biggest rival. "My name is Mia Emerson. I have some information Ms. May might find interesting about creative accounting practices at her competitor's firm." Nicole must hear something in my tone because she starts pounding on the door again, harder now. But it doesn't matter. The die is cast. "I'm listening," Annabelle says. I look at the envelope in my hands, 10 years of loyalty weighing against one night of truth. "How soon can we meet?" The lobby of Annabelle's office building feels like entering another world. All glass and steel and quiet power, nothing like the startup chaos where Nicole and I work. My heels click against marble as the security guard escorts me to a private elevator. Quite the evidence package you've brought us, Annabelle says by way of greeting. She's shorter than I expected, but her presence fills the corner office. Though I have to ask, why now? These documents are dated from months ago. I set my coffee down on her pristine desk. Let's just say I recently gained some clarity about certain relationships. Ah, her smile is knowing. Nicole finally showed her true colors? My phone buzzes. Edison again. I silence it, but not before seeing his message. Dylan's looking for you, says it's urgent. The question is, Annabelle continues, what do you want out of this? Besides revenge? The word makes me flinch. I hadn't thought. Of course you have. She leans forward. Everyone who comes to me with dirt has thought about exactly what they want. So let's hear it. Before I can answer, my phone lights up with a call from Malia. I silence it too, but something must show on my face because Annabelle's expression shifts. Having second thoughts? No, I say quickly. Too quickly. There are people who might get caught in the crossfire. There always are. Annabelle stands, walking to her window. Did you know Nicole tried to poach my entire development team last year? Offered them all significant raises, equity packages, but she didn't count on loyalty. My stomach twists. What do you mean? They told me everything, showed me the offers. We used that information to secure our biggest contract to date. She turns back to me. Loyalty is currency, Mia. Nicole never understood that. She sees it as weakness. My phone buzzes again. Dylan. This time I read the message. Need to talk. It's about Nicole. And you. The question, Annabelle says, is whether you're ready to spend that currency. I think of Nicole pounding on my door this morning, of 10 years of carefully crafted manipulation, of being the eternal sidekick. I'm ready, I say. But when I leave Annabelle's office an hour later, Dylan is waiting in the lobby. His face is ashen, his usually perfect hair disheveled. Thank God, he says, grabbing my arm. We need to talk, now. He practically drags me to a nearby coffee shop, checking over his shoulder the whole way. Once we're seated in a corner booth, he pulls out his phone and shows me an email. Nicole sent this to the whole board this morning, after you wouldn't answer her calls. My blood runs cold as I read. The email details every mistake I've ever made at work, every project that didn't quite succeed, every moment of weakness or uncertainty, but twisted, distorted into a pattern of incompetence and manipulation. According to Nicole, I've been riding her coattails for years, taking credit for her work, using her name to advance myself. She's burning you before you can burn her, Dylan says quietly. And it's working. The board is already talking about an investigation. My hands shake as I push the phone away. How did she... I was so careful. Because she's been planning this for months. Dylan won't meet my eyes. She told me to keep records of your mistakes, your conversations, in case she ever needed insurance. The betrayal hits like a physical blow. Dylan, sweet, funny Dylan, who I've had drinks with, who I've confided in, who I thought was my friend too, has been Nicole's spy all along. I'm sorry, he whispers. I didn't know what she'd use it for. I thought it was just business. My phone buzzes again. Edison. Board meeting called for tomorrow morning. About you. The walls feel like they're closing in. In just a few hours, Nicole has turned my planned revenge into a fight for professional survival. And she's only getting started. There's more, Dylan says, looking miserable. She has recordings, conversations where we all said things we shouldn't have. About clients, about the company. I think of all the late nights, all the venting sessions, all the moments I thought I was among friends. Nicole wasn't just collecting ammunition against me. She was building an arsenal. My phone lights up with a text from Annabelle. Deal's still on if you want it, but we move now. I look at Dylan, at his guilty face and nervous hands, at the evidence of how completely Nicole had orchestrated my potential downfall, long before I ever thought about orchestrating hers. I have to go, I tell him, standing up. Because now I know, this isn't just about revenge anymore. It's about survival. The boardroom feels like a courtroom, all polished wood and accusatory stares. I sit alone at one end of the long table while Nicole holds court at the other, perfectly composed in a cream blazer that probably costs more than my rent. These allegations are disturbing, says Marcus, the CEO. Mia, do you have anything to say in your defense? Defense, like I'm on trial, which I suppose I am. I think, I say carefully, that timing is interesting here. These concerns only surfaced after I began looking into certain accounting irregularities. Nicole's smile doesn't waver, but her knuckles whiten around her water glass. I think we should focus on the documented issues at hand, she says smoothly. The pattern of behavior, like the pattern of redirecting project credits? I interrupt, pulling out my own folder. I have documentation too, including emails where you specifically instructed team members to remove my name from presentations. A ripple of murmurs around the table. Nicole's smile turns brittle. I think, says Marcus, we should take a brief recess. In the hallway, Edison appears like a ghost. Pearl wants to talk to you, he whispers. Says it's important. She's in the break room. I find Pearl pacing between the coffee machines, looking like she hasn't slept. When she sees me, her eyes fill with tears. I'm so sorry, she says. I should have told you sooner, about everything. What do you mean, everything? She pulls out her phone, hands shaking. Nicole, she doesn't just have recordings of you. She has them of all of us. Everything we've ever said about the company, about clients, about each other. She's been collecting them for years. My stomach drops. Why are you telling me this now? Because she played me one last night. A conversation from 2 years ago where Pearl swallows hard. Where I admitted to fudging some numbers on the Martinez account. She said if I don't back up her story about you, she'll release it. The pieces click into place. She's blackmailing everyone. Pearl nods miserably. Dylan, Malia, me. We all have something to lose. Something she carefully collected and saved just in case. My phone buzzes. Annabelle. Board meeting's not going well. Time to play our hand? But before I can respond, another message appears. From Nicole. Break room. Now. Alone. I tell Pearl to go. When Nicole arrives minutes later, she's still wearing that perfect smile. You know, she says, I really did love you like a sister. Still do, actually. Funny way of showing it. Oh, please. She rolls her eyes. You think I became successful by being nice? By trusting people? I kept you close because you were useful. Loyal. The perfect sidekick. Until I wasn't. Until you forgot your place. She steps closer. But I'm willing to be generous. Walk away now. Resign quietly. I'll make sure you get a good recommendation. Help you find something new. We can even stay friends. I laugh, the sound harsh in the quiet room. Friends? After everything you've done? I've done? Her smile finally cracks. Who's meeting with my biggest rival? Who's threatening to expose confidential documents? You're not as clean in this as you pretend, Mia. She's right, and we both know it. In trying to escape her shadow, I've started becoming more like her than I ever wanted to admit. Here's what's going to happen. Nicole continues. You're going to go back into that boardroom and admit to everything. Take full responsibility. I'll smooth things over, help minimize the damage. It's the best offer you're going to get. My phone buzzes again. Annabelle. Decision time. I look at Nicole. Really look at her. Behind the perfect exterior, I see something I never noticed before. Fear. She's terrified. Not just of losing control, but of being exposed. Of someone seeing behind the carefully constructed facade. You're right about one thing, I say. I'm not clean in this, but at least I'm not afraid of people seeing who I really am. Her eyes narrow. What's that supposed to mean? Instead of answering, I text Annabelle back. Do it. Nicole's phone chimes immediately. Then everyone else is in the building. Mass email. The color drains from Nicole's face as she reads. Because Annabelle didn't just expose the creative accounting. She exposed everything. Every manipulated project credit. Every blackmail recording. Every carefully orchestrated betrayal. You'll go down with me, Nicole whispers, but there's uncertainty in her voice now. Maybe, I say, heading for the door. But at least I'll go down as myself, not someone's sidekick. I leave her there, staring at her phone as her perfect world crumbles one email at a time. The aftermath feels like a bomb has gone off. Security escorts Nicole from the building while HR sends everyone else home, pending investigation. I sit in my empty office, watching people hurry past with boxes of personal items, avoiding eye contact. Edison appears in my doorway. Malia's crying in the bathroom, he says quietly. Her recording was personal. Things she said about her marriage. Nicole promised she deleted it. The victory I felt an hour ago curdles in my stomach. I didn't know which recordings Annabelle had. I just told her to release everything. I know. He sits across from me. But that's the thing about scorched earth tactics. Everything burns. My phone lights up with messages, mostly from unknown numbers. Former colleagues calling me brave, calling me a traitor, asking why I didn't warn them, telling me I'm just as bad as Nicole. They're not wrong. The board wants to see you, Edison says. And Mia? Dylan's in there too. The walk to the boardroom feels longer than before. Dylan sits hunched in his chair, looking shell-shocked. Marcus stands at the window, his back to us both. Well, he says finally, turning around. This is quite a mess you've created. Sir, He holds up a hand. The good news is, the creative accounting evidence is solid. Nicole's actions were illegal, and the company will be pressing charges. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. The bad news, he continues, is that the collateral damage is extensive. Private conversations exposed. Client relationships compromised. Employee trust shattered. Dylan makes a small, broken sound. And you too. Marcus fixes us with a hard stare. We're at the center of it all. Dylan feeding information to Nicole. Mia feeding information to Annabelle. Both of you choosing nuclear options instead of coming to me directly. We didn't think... Dylan starts. No, you didn't. Marcus sighs. The board has decided that termination is the only option, for both of you. The words hit like physical blows. I knew there would be consequences, but somehow I thought exposing Nicole would protect me, make me the whistleblower instead of the villain. You have an hour to clear out your desks, Marcus says. Security will escort you out. In the elevator, Dylan finally speaks. I loved her, you know, Nicole. That's why I did it. Why I helped her collect all those recordings. I know, I say, because I do. Nicole had a way of making you feel special, chosen, until you weren't. But you know what's really messed up? He laughs bitterly. I think I helped destroy you because I was jealous. You were her real best friend. I was just convenient. The elevator doors open to reveal Pearl waiting in the lobby. When she sees me, her face crumples. How could you? She demands. That recording. My marriage was falling apart. I was drunk and scared and trusted Nicole to delete it. Now everyone knows. My husband knows. Pearl, I'm sorry. No, you're not. Her voice breaks. You're just like her, using people's trust as ammunition. At least Nicole was honest about being a snake. She turns and walks away, heels clicking against marble. Behind me, Dylan silently heads toward his desk. My phone buzzes. Annabelle. Messy, but effective. Let's talk about your future. Dinner tonight? I think about accepting. About turning this nuclear wasteland into a career opportunity. Isn't that what Nicole would do? Instead, I text Edison. Need a drink? Or 10? I find him waiting outside, hands in his pockets. You okay? I destroyed everything, I say. My career, my friendships, people's marriages, all because I couldn't stand being someone's sidekick anymore. No, he says firmly. You exposed real wrongdoing. The method was messy, but I became exactly what I hated. I laugh, the sound edged with hysteria. Nicole collected people's secrets to use as weapons. And what did I do? Use those same weapons. I didn't beat her, Edison. I replaced her. My phone buzzes again. An unknown number, but I recognize the email address in the preview. It's from one of Nicole's other victims, someone from years ago, someone whose career she destroyed, someone who's been waiting for this moment. The message is simple. Ready to finish what you started? Edison reads over my shoulder. Mia, don't. You've done enough. But have I? Nicole's facing charges for the financial fraud, but what about everything else? All the other lives she's ruined? Don't they deserve justice, too? I look at Edison's worried face, then back at my phone, at the chance to either stop this spiral or dive deeper into it. I need to make this right, I say. Which version of right? He asks quietly. Nicole's? Or yours? I wish I knew the answer. The cafe is empty except for me and Nicole's first victim. Rachel looks exactly like her LinkedIn photo from 6 years ago. Sharp features, sharper eyes, the kind of person who doesn't forget. I've been watching you, she says, stirring her untouched coffee. Watching her too, waiting for someone to finally crack her perfect facade. And now that someone has? Now we finish it. Rachel slides a USB drive across the table. This is everything I collected before she destroyed my career. Bank transfers, altered contracts, private emails, things even Annabelle doesn't know about. My hand hovers over the drive. Why didn't you use this yourself? I tried, but Nicole was too powerful, too connected. Nobody would touch it. Rachel's smile is cold. But now, with her reputation in tatters and criminal charges pending, perfect timing. My phone buzzes. Edison. Where are you? We need to talk. I ignore it. What exactly are you proposing? Release everything, not just the professional dirt, the personal stuff too. Her family's dirty money, her brother's rehab stays, everything she's tried to bury. The cafe door chimes. I look up to see Malia entering, eyes red but determined. Sorry I'm late, she says, sitting down. Had to lose the reporters camping outside my house. Rachel's smile widens. Excellent. I was just showing Mia what we've collected. We? I look between them. Did you think you were the only one Nicole betrayed? Malia's voice is hard. Rachel found me last night, showed me everything. This goes so much deeper than office politics, Mia. My phone buzzes again. Edison. Nicole's been arrested. Things are getting worse. The question, Rachel says, is whether you're ready to go all the way. No more half measures. The USB drive sits between us like a loaded gun. I think about Pearl's marriage, Dylan's broken trust, my own scorched career. This would destroy her completely, I say. Yes. Rachel doesn't blink. That's the point. The cafe door chimes again. This time it's Edison, looking frantic. Mia, thank God. You need to see this. He holds up his phone. A news article about Nicole's arrest. But it's not just about the creative accounting anymore. Somehow the story has shifted. Now it's about a conspiracy. About how I orchestrated everything, manipulated evidence, collaborated with corporate rivals. She's spinning it, Edison says, making herself the victim, and people are believing her. Rachel laughs. Of course they are. It's what she does best. Why do you think I lost everything 6 years ago? My phone explodes with notifications. Social media is catching fire with Nicole's version of events. Former colleagues are posting about how I manipulated them, betrayed their trust. The narrative is slipping away from me. Now do you understand? Malia asks quietly. Why we need to use everything? Edison reads the room. Mia, don't. This isn't justice anymore. It's annihilation. Sometimes they're the same thing, Rachel says. I stare at the USB drive, remembering Nicole's words in the break room. You think I became successful by being nice? No. She became successful by being ruthless. By understanding that sometimes you have to destroy someone completely to ensure they never rise again. Just like I'm considering doing now. If we do this, I say slowly, we're no better than her. Maybe not, Malia replies. But at least we'll win. My phone buzzes one final time. A text from Nicole, sent from wherever they're holding her. You should have taken the deal. Now everyone will see who you really are. I pick up the USB drive, feeling its weight. Inside is enough ammunition to not just destroy Nicole's career, but her entire life. Her family, her future, everything. Just like she would do to me, is already trying to do to me. Mia, Edison says softly. Please. Rachel and Malia watch me expectantly. Two more women shaped by Nicole's betrayal, waiting to see if I'll become what we all hated. I stand up. No, I say. No? Rachel's eyes narrow. After everything she's done? I won't help you destroy her life. I set the USB drive down. But I will help you tell the truth. The real truth, with real evidence. No personal attacks, no collateral damage, just facts. That's not enough, Malia protests. It has to be. I look at Edison, see the relief in his eyes. Because if we do it her way, we prove her right. About all of us. I walk out before they can argue, Edison following close behind. Outside, the sun is setting over the city, painting everything in shades of gold and shadow. You know they'll release it anyway, he says. I know. I watch a news van drive past, hunting for the next sensational headline. But I won't be part of it. I'm done playing by Nicole's rules. So what's our next move? I smile, feeling lighter than I have in days. We're going to tell my story. All of it. Before she can twist it any further. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction. It's truth. The police station's interview room smells like stale coffee and anxiety. Nicole sits across from me, still somehow immaculate despite spending the night in custody. Only her eyes reveal the cracks in her armor. They're fever bright, desperate. Come to gloat? She asks. No. I set my phone on the table between us, recording app open. I came to give you a choice. Her lawyer shifts uncomfortably beside her but doesn't speak. We both know this isn't a legal conversation. Rachel and Malia want to release everything. I continue. Not just the work stuff. Everything. Something flickers across Nicole's face. The first real fear I've seen from her. You wouldn't. I wouldn't. But they would. I lean forward. Unless you tell the truth. All of it. Starting with what really happened 6 years ago with Rachel. Nicole laughs, but it's brittle. And why would I do that? Because deep down, you're tired, aren't you? Tired of maintaining the perfect facade. Tired of keeping track of all the lies and manipulations. Tired of seeing enemies in every shadow. You don't know anything about me. I know everything about you. 10 years of everything. I tap my phone. So here's the choice. Tell your story, the real story, or let Rachel tell it for you. The lawyer whispers something in her ear. She ignores him. You really want to know the truth? Nicole's voice drops to a whisper. I was terrified. All the time. Of being exposed as a fraud. Of people seeing through me, so I collected their secrets before they could collect mine. Kept everyone off balance so they couldn't see how scared I was. The confession hangs in the air between us. Outside, I hear footsteps in the hallway, voices murmuring. Rachel was the first one who saw through me. Nicole continues. She was going to expose everything. So I destroyed her first. And it worked so well, I just kept going. It was easier than being vulnerable. And me? You. Her smile turned sad. You were the worst threat of all, because you saw the real me and loved me anyway, like a sister, until you didn't. The door opens. Edison steps in, right on schedule. It's done, he says quietly. Nicole's eyes dart between us. What's done? I slide my phone across the table, open to a news website. The headline reads, Exclusive. Former executive tells all. A story of power, fear, and redemption. Your confession just went live, I say. The real story. Not the twisted version you've been spinning or the nuclear option Rachel wanted. Just the truth. The color drains from her face as she reads. Every word from the last 5 minutes, transcribed and published. Her vulnerability, her fear, her humanity. You can't, she starts. I already did. I stand up. The world doesn't see you as a monster anymore, Nicole. Just a scared, broken person who hurt people because she was hurting. That's your punishment. Being seen. Really seen. You've ruined me, she whispers. No, I've freed you. And me. And everyone else you tried to control. I head for the door, then pause. Oh, and those personal files Rachel and Malia wanted to release? I destroyed them this morning. Some secrets deserve to stay buried. Edison follows me out. In the hallway, my phone is already exploding with notifications. The story is spreading, but not the way Nicole feared. People are sharing their own stories of workplace manipulation, of toxic friendships, of finding the courage to be vulnerable. You okay? Edison asks softly. No, I admit. But I will be. My phone buzzes with a text from Pearl. Just read the article. Can we talk? Then Malia. You were right. This was better. Even Rachel. Not what I wanted, but maybe what I needed. What now? Edison asks as we step into the sunlight. I think about Nicole, sitting alone in that interview room, finally seen for who she really is. About how freedom sometimes comes from letting go of revenge. Now? I smile. Now I stop being anyone's sidekick, including my own. He takes my hand, and for the first time, I let him. Because that's the thing about stepping out of someone's shadow. You finally get to choose your own light. My phone buzzes one last time. A message from Nicole. I'm sorry for everything, and thank you. I don't respond. Some stories don't need another chapter. Sometimes the best ending is simply walking away, head held high, into whatever comes next. Edison squeezes my hand. Ready? I look back at the police station one last time, then forward at the city sprawling before us. Ready. Because the best revenge isn't destruction or exposure or even truth. It's living well, on your own terms, in your own story. Finally, I'm ready to write mine. The morning sun streams through my apartment windows as I pack the last of my office things into boxes. My phone lights up with another job offer, the 5th this week. Ever since the article went viral, companies have been scrambling to show they take workplace toxicity seriously. I delete it without reading. Edison brings me coffee, watching as I pick up the black dress from my birthday party. Keep it or donate? Burn it, I say, then pause. No, actually, I have a better idea. An hour later, I'm standing outside a women's shelter, boxes of designer clothes in my arms. Everything Nicole ever chose for me. The shelter director, Maria, greets me with a knowing smile. Interview outfits, I explain, for women starting over. As we sort through the clothes, my phone buzzes. Pearl. Coffee? Found a new place? No memories there. I meet her at a tiny cafe in a neighborhood I've never visited. She looks different, lighter somehow, despite the shadows under her eyes. The divorce papers came through yesterday, she says without preamble. Turns out the recording wasn't what ended my marriage. It just made me finally face what I already knew. I'm sorry. Don't be. She stirs her coffee. I'm starting a support group for people recovering from toxic relationships, romantic, professional, whatever. Was wondering if you'd come speak. Before I can answer, my phone lights up with a news alert. Tech startup announces major leadership changes. Former executive Nicole Diaz pleads guilty, agrees to industry ban. Pearl reads it over my shoulder. Is it weird that I feel sorry for her? No, I say. I do too, but not sorry enough to let her back in. Speaking of letting people in, Pearl's eyes drift to something behind me. Isn't that Edison? He's outside the cafe window, pretending to be fascinated by a newspaper stand. I haven't seen him since that day at the police station, since that moment of almost something between us. Go, Pearl says softly. Some stories deserve a new chapter. I find him still studying headlines. Anything interesting? Just this story about a woman who chose truth over revenge. He looks up, smiling. Pretty compelling stuff. I heard she's still figuring out her next move. Any ideas? I think about Pearl's support group, about Maria's shelter, about all the messages I've received from people sharing similar stories. Actually, yes. I pull out my phone, show him the website I've been building. A platform for people to share their experiences, resources for recognizing manipulation, legal aid contacts, a place to find your voice when someone's tried to silence it. Not exactly the corporate comeback people are expecting. Good. I close the browser. I'm done meeting expectations, especially other people's. My phone buzzes. Malia wanting to grab lunch. Then Rachel asking about collaborating on a workplace ethics workshop. Even Dylan apologizing again, seeking redemption. Looks like you're in demand, Edison says. Looks like I'm exactly where I need to be. A final message comes through. From Nicole's brother, of all people. She's starting therapy, he writes. Real therapy this time. Says you showed her there's strength in being seen. I delete the message without responding. Some bridges stay burned, and that's okay. So, Edison says, taking my hand. What's next? I look at our reflection in the cafe window. No designer clothes, no carefully curated image, just me. Finally, completely me. First, coffee, I say. Then we build something real. Together? Together. I squeeze his hand. But not as sidekicks. We walk into the cafe where Pearl waits, where new possibilities simmer like fresh coffee, where the morning light turns everything golden. My phone stays quiet in my pocket. Not because there aren't messages coming in, but because I'm finally choosing which voices to hear. And for the first time since my birthday, since that rooftop revelation that shattered everything, I feel truly, completely free. Not because I destroyed my enemy, but because I refused to become her. Because I chose to write my own story, even when others tried to edit it. Pearl waves us over, already pulling out chairs. Edison's hand stays warm in mine. Outside, the city pulses with millions of stories waiting to be told. This one's mine. And I'm just getting started.